Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. As I mentioned last week, I was expecting quite a few pre-orders that I had made to come out last Friday, but not all of them made it here, so gotta love distribution problems. Anyway, I did pick up quite a few albums, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I'll try to work through them as quickly as I can so that we don't go too long, but I do have 22 albums, I believe, in this stack to show that I'm really excited about. So stick around and I'll show you what I picked up over the last week or so. Alright, welcome back. So as I said, I was expecting quite a few pre-orders. For some reason, all these albums that I really wanted over the last several weeks decided to just show up on the same day. And normally I don't like pre-ordering that much stuff at once, but I wanted certain albums, so I kept looking at them, and a couple of them I decided I was just going to go in and buy them from the local store. A couple of them I pre-ordered online, and what I got a couple. I did get a couple of them in, but like I said, there's been lots of talk in the VC and all over about distribution channel problems with vinyl and physical media in general. All the three major physical media companies have kind of converged to one distribution channel, and that distribution channel has had nothing but problems getting content and getting physical media to stores, consumers everywhere. And so a lot of times albums will have a release date, and that release date will come and the album will not be in the store. It will not show up on time. I've been victim to this several times with pre-orders I've made online where they show up a week later or a few days after the release date because they just didn't get to the place I ordered it from on time. And that happened with a couple things that I was going to pick up this week as well. So those will have to wait for another video down the road when they actually do end up showing up. I believe one is coming this week, and another one is probably scheduled to come in a week or so. So anyway, I did pick up a few of those releases anyway, so I'm really excited about that. And also I picked up some albums from a site called deepdiscount.com. I'll have a link below. I've ordered from there in the past. I think I picked up 4 albums a couple editions ago, and they had this massive sale where it was like 60 to 70% off on albums. And so I test ran it with 4 albums. Those came, they were great condition. So I decided to order a few more because it was just so cheap. And so I got a group of those here. I got some of the pre-orders that I got came in. I also picked up a bunch of stuff from my local record store and my local retailers. Mill City Sound for one, and of course Down in the Valley as the other two of my favorite stores. So I'm going to go through all this stuff. Bear with me. I sold a guitar amp. If you didn't know, I'm a musician by all the instruments you see hanging on the walls and scattered around here. I sold a guitar amp, came into a few extra dollars I wasn't expecting at the time, and so that's why this is such a big haul, because I just decided to just go ahead and buy some of these albums at full price instead of wait for them to drop. Anyway, that said, thank you for sticking around that long-winded explanation here. Let's get to what we got. The first set I'm going to show you are the albums I picked up from that website, deepdiscount.com. I'm excited about this. I picked up, I believe it was 7 albums at this time, and everything all said and done was under $50 for 7 albums. All brand new, all sealed, great stuff. So let's get started. These are albums that typically I wouldn't probably buy normally, but because the price was just too good to pass up, I decided to take a chance on them. And we'll start with this one. This is Sugarland's Bigger album. I've never really owned any Sugarland albums, neither that or Jennifer Nettles albums in themselves. I've always enjoyed Sugarland's music. I just never have really bought any of their stuff. But when I saw this for $7, I figured, why not give it a try? And so here it is. This is Sugarland's Bigger. It's, I think, their latest release, and it also contains the song that Taylor Swift had wrote for her big Red album, and it didn't make the cut, so she gave it to these guys to record. And so I'm excited to listen to this and see how it sounds and what it's all about. So Sugarland Bigger is album number 1. Album number 2. Okay, so I saw this guy play as an opening act for Shania Twain on her more recent tour, her first tour back when she came out of retirement, I guess you could say. Not really retirement, but she had been off the road for quite some time with some voice issues and whatever else. He opened the show for her. We knew 1 or 2 of the songs that he did because they were hits for him a few years back. And this is, I think, one of his newer albums. And so I thought I'd give this a try. And this cost me, I think, like $5. This is Gavin DeGraw, Something Worth Saving. So real excited to listen to this. He's got a real cool vibe. A lot reminds me a little of rock and roll Billy Joel type stuff. Just real into it. Singer-songwriter stuff. So looking forward to giving this a spin. If you've watched my videos in more recent times, you've realized that I've been collecting certain artists, and this is one of them. And so I saw this one. This one I think cost me about $6.50, and was real excited about it. This is Willie Nelson's Band of Brothers. This is from 2014. I really enjoyed the 3 most recent albums that Willie had put out. I thought that sonically they were just amazing sounding albums, and the songs were really well written. So I've been collecting Willie's older stuff, and but his more recent stuff too. I really enjoyed his more recent stuff a lot. And so I saw this, decided to pull the trigger on it and pick this up as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing this album from Willie. This next one is an artist that I never really ever got into, didn't really give the time of day to, never really heard a lot about, but I saw the album title. I knew people really enjoyed her singing. I listened to a song or 2 and really enjoyed her voice and decided to just go with it. This is Julie Roberts, Good Wine and Bad Decisions. And how can you go wrong with a title like Good Wine and Bad Decisions? Like, who hasn't been there? Really, right? So I'm excited to hear this. I'll look forward to listening to what Julie Roberts has to bring to country music, because I think it's going to be good. The next one I have here is a band that I picked up. They had a real big song, which is the title track of this album, a few years back, and it became a running joke with the wife and I that the name of the band, it was just funny to say, and so we used to say it in funny ways. But I saw this is the most expensive one I picked up in this haul for the deep discount website. This is Hoobastank's The Reason. It's pretty cool. Really looking forward to it, and it's really neat because it comes on this real cool clear vinyl record. So Hoobastank's The Reason. My duo partner has gotten me into this artist. We do acoustic duos, and this is one of her favorite artists. And so in the car rides, she would usually plug into my car and play some music. And one day she started playing a bunch of his stuff. I picked up his latest album and really, really like it. So when I saw this for $7, I couldn't pass it up. This is Jason Mraz, Love is a 4-Letter Word. So looking forward to hearing this one. This next artist is one that I never really got into, but I decided to go ahead and pick it up because I picked up one of her more famous albums. Really enjoyed the album. I love her voice. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to listening to this. But this is Sarah McLachlan's Shine On album. So real excited. I think she's a great artist. I think she's a great songwriter. She's got a really sad commercial that comes on. It kind of makes you mad every time you see it because of the way it's portrayed, and it really kind of ruined the song in some respects. However, great songwriter, so looking forward to delving into this and seeing what it has to offer. Alright, so that does it for the deepdiscount.com items. I hope you enjoyed that. Now we're going to move on to some of these pre-orders that came in and that I picked up at my local stores. So I went shopping with the extra money that I had and picked up some extra stuff that I had not pre-ordered but wanted just because it got to be too many. So I was happy to have sold what I did and was able to then go back and get these from my local stores. But either way, here we go. We'll start with Miss Janet Jackson. So really excited when I found out that Janet Jackson was going to be reissuing a lot of her stuff. Pretty much everything from Control to All For You was being reissued on vinyl for the first time in quite some time. And these are albums that I have been after for a while, and almost paid $60 at one point for a copy of this album. But that's just too much for me. I don't like paying anything over $40 for any album. And if it's $40, it's got to be something I really, really want. And so I have passed a couple times on copies of this album. So really excited when I read that she was reissuing these. The instant that they were available on Amazon.com, I pre-ordered this one because this is one I've wanted forever. It's just such a great album. Iconic. This is 1989's Rhythm Nation 1814. I listened to this last night. It sounds absolutely beautiful, and it is just fun to listen to some of these songs. I mean, I grew up huge into pop, late 80s, early 90s pop before getting into my heavy metal years. So this was constantly being played. Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Miss You Much, Escapade. Gosh, so many good songs on this one. So really excited that this is out and that I have it now on vinyl. Super pumped. On top of that, I also pre-ordered this one. This is Janet's Janet album. This was the follow-up to Rhythm Nation, and then this one came out in 1993. And the songs on here, That's the Way Love Goes, is one of the best ones that she put out on here. Just another really good, fantastic album. Of course, this is the one where the cover kind of got her, so a lot of attention. The Rolling Stone cover, which showed the full picture, where, of course, you got the hands on the boobs over here. So, yeah. Really good album. Looking forward to listening to this one as well. So those are some of the pre-orders that actually did make it to my house. Let's talk about some that didn't. We'll get to them. Let's first finish up Janet, because I went to my local store down in the valley, and I picked up a couple more of those releases because I really wanted them. So this is The Velvet Rope by Janet Jackson, and if you've ever listened to this album, I have the CD, and it just is a monster album sonically. Just real good bass, real good instruments, just phenomenal sounding album. So really looking forward to putting this on the turntable and seeing how it compares to what I know on the CD version. I'm excited about that a lot. So Velvet Rope. And the last Janet album I did pick up is Janet Jackson's All For You album. The only thing on this one I really know is the title track, All For You. It was a really great single when it came out. I enjoyed it. I picked up the CD, just never really listened to it a whole lot, so excited to delve back into this album as well. Now, she also released Control, a remixes version, but I already have the album Control on vinyl, and I didn't really need any kind of a remix version, so I didn't pick that one up. The other albums I was really looking forward to getting were reissues by Megadeth. They reissued 3 albums, 13, Endgame, and United Abominations, which are 3 mid-2000 era Megadeth albums. And so I didn't pre-order them on Amazon. I figured I would go to my local store and I would pick them up there. So I contacted them on, I believe it was Friday, to ask if they had them, and they said they're expecting them to come in that day. And I was like, great, I'm coming in Saturday. I'll pick them up then. I got there on Saturday, and 2 of the 3 albums had shown up. 13 and this one, United Abominations. So I grabbed those and asked about the third one, Endgame. So I already have 13 on vinyl, which I picked up several months back. And so I didn't need to get that reissue, but I did want United Abominations and Endgame. I found out that the Endgame had not shipped yet, so they didn't get it in. They don't know when it was coming. I looked up online, and it looks like they're expecting to ship sometime this week around the 1st of August, which is fine. So I'm expecting hopefully to get my copy sometime next week instead. So looking forward to that. But this is United Abominations. A fantastic album. A lot of people say they're best since Symphony of Destruction, things like that. I'm not sure if I go that far. I really enjoy it though, so excited to finally have this album in my collection. The other one that I pre-ordered, it didn't come, was Silverchair's Freak Show reissue. An awesome album. I remember it from when I was younger. I had, of course, the original Frog Stomp and then Freak Show. I had those two albums as a kid. Really enjoyed them both. And that was supposed to be here last Friday. Did not come in. I have received word that it should be here on Wednesday, so we'll see about that. So anyway, while I was at the store, I decided to look for a few other things and picked a bunch of used albums up. So the next stack of records, the final stack I have here, are going to be the used records that I picked up, and one new one from both Down in the Valley, which is one of my favorite places to dig through, and Mill City Sound, which is also one of my favorite places to shop as well. This first one comes from Mill City Sound. I had not seen this anywhere that I could pick it up, so I was really excited when I saw this in their new pile. I just happenstance went through the country new albums, and here it is. Amazon doesn't have this in stock. Other places I've gone to haven't seen it, but this has the song Stupid Boy on it, which I think is a fantastic song, and so I had to pick this up. So I grabbed Keith Urban's Love, Pain, and the Whole Crazy Thing. Real excited to add this to my Keith Urban collection, and I'm getting close to having all of them finally on vinyl. Alright, let's get into some of the used content that we picked up here. We had a fun time with digging for some used gold this weekend, and I found a few things. So let's start with what I picked up here. This was from Down in the Valley. This is Kim Carnes' Cafe Racers. So this is the follow-up album to a smash hit that was Mistaken Identity. Of course, she's best known for the song Betty Davis Eyes. So this is the follow-up to that record that didn't really ever take off. And it's kind of too bad. I listened to this one last night, and I thought it sounded absolutely great. Some good stuff on here, and I think it just was too much to live up to the hype of Betty Davis Eyes. So this is really cool. This was $2.50. It is a gold stamp promo copy, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, I thought it was actually a really good album. So if you do see this out in the wild, don't hesitate to pick it up. It's actually really good listen. Alright, from Mill City Sound, I added a bunch of albums to my Dolly Parton collection. As you noticed throughout these videos, I have added a ton of Dolly Parton, and they had a bunch there that were reasonably priced, so I decided to pick them up. The first one is this one. This is called Just the Way I Am. This is a compilation that was released by RCA Records on their Camden label, and then released later on Pickwick Records, which is what this one is. It's a later 70s pressing on Pickwick. But it's a compilation of stuff that she recorded in 67 to 70, some of her early album stuff that she broke in the 70s, so this was kind of trying to capitalize on her notoriety and get some of her older stuff out there. So real excited about this. This is real good stuff. Also picked up the album Heartbreak Express, and this one is I think this is 1970. Gosh, what is it? Oh, sorry, 1982. So Heartbreak Express from Dolly Parton. Excited about that. This one I think is funny. This is called Great Balls of Fire from Dolly Parton. This is 1979. And, you know, I don't know. I think she does a remake of Jerry Lewis's hit Great Balls of Fire, but I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm not quite sure if that's what it is or not. But a bunch of Dolly songs on here. Looking forward to digging into that. And for my guy, Eric Weinbrenner, this is right up your alley. Cheesecake Deluxe right here. This is Dolly Parton's Rainbow album, and this is from 1987. So looking forward to listening to this. Eric will enjoy this cover quite well. Yeah, buddy. Some cheesecake for you. But there you go, Dolly's Rainbow. Also from Mill City, I found the Star Wars soundtrack, the original motion picture soundtrack. I always find the shortened version of this available in stores, and I never want it. I never pick it up. I always wanted to get this one. So this is the full deal Star Wars soundtrack, Darth Vader on the back. Really excited about this one, so happy to have that. I also picked up, oops, sorry about that. I also picked up an album I've been waiting for and trying to find for so long. This is the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour. It's awesome. It has the booklet still in here. intact, so that's really cool. Albums are really clean. Happy to finally have this in my collection. Slowly finally getting all the Beatles albums I'm missing. I think I have Yellow Submarine, Please Please Me, and Help are the 3 main ones left to pick up, and then a bunch of miscellaneous ones as well, but those are the main ones I'm looking for. All right, back to Down the Valley. I found this one. This is Ringo Starr's Ringo album, and the fun part about this one is the fact that it's got a song on here that my dad just absolutely loved called You're 16, You're Beautiful, and You're Mine. And that's a song he always tells me about whenever I mention Ringo Starr. So it was kind of fun to find this record. I did pick a bunch of Ringos in a haul video or two ago that I thought were actually really good. I never really gave Ringo his due as the fourth Beatle. But now I'm starting to get into some of his stuff, and so found this for $4.50 and figured why the heck not. Picked it up. Good stuff. Last but certainly not least, and thank you for sticking around if you have, this is a personal grail of mine that I've wanted forever, and it is not an expensive album or anything like that, but it has a personal meaning to me, and when I found out that it was released on vinyl, I've been looking for it ever since, and it was the first thing I saw. And when I went into Down in the Valley and started digging through their new arrivals section, I couldn't believe it, but here it is. This is the Beatles' 20 Greatest Hits. Why is this such a big deal to me? Well, back when I was a kid, we used to go to Great American Music. It was a record store and tape and cassette store, CD, whatever. As a family on Sundays after church, we would probably once a month or every couple months, we would go down to Minnetonka and we would browse this store, record store, Great American Music it was called. And the first album I ever bought with my own money was this album on cassette. And I loved it. I loved it. It has so many good songs on it. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but it has 20 just amazing tracks on it. And I just loved it as a kid. I played the heck out of it. And it's been lost for years and years and years. Never really thought much about it until someone posted this on one of the vinyl forums that I'm in, and I was just like, whoa, blown away that this existed. So here it is. I picked it up. I have it. $8 is all it cost me. I'm super excited about it, and I cannot wait to get this on the turntable and listen to it. It's all cleaned and ready to go. So for me, this was the highlight of all those albums that I picked up over the last week. This is the highlight for me. And for $8, I'm super excited for it. So thank you, Down in the Valley, and I'm pumped. So that's it. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Vinyl Editions. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. If you're new, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I always enjoy interacting with everybody. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.